Yeah.
Order filled, check us out.
You know what time it is.
This is Mighty Soldiers exclusive.
Yeah. Let's get it. Let's get it.
How you guys doing? I'm Andy with Mighty Soldiers Trades. Today we have a really special guest with us, but I want to let you guys know that one thing about trading that I didn't realize before I got into this is that there's such an amazing community of people here willing to help each other out, and I've met so many amazing people, and one of those people is with us today, and I'm really thankful that Tim is able to come and join us. I know Tim doesn't typically do these type of events, so without further ado, I'm going to bring Tim on. How you doing, Tim?
Man, I am great, man. It's good to be here, man. I'm glad for the invite, and I was glad to graciously accept it.
Yeah, I really appreciate you joining us. I know that I've really enjoyed your content, and I see that you're always working hard. You're pushing it out there for traders in our community, and I've always known you to be, my idea of you is just more of a giving part of this community.
Yes, you are 100%
and I know that
correct.
I believe that you share that with me. That giving is very important.
Yes.
We probably wouldn't be here if it wasn't for giving.
Indeed.
So if you want to get right into this, Tim, maybe tell us a little bit about yourself and let us know how you got into trading.
Be glad to. Well, first of all, again, thank you, Andy, for giving me this opportunity to be here and share with your viewers. Me myself, I'm a regular roundaway guy. Come from a big city. Well, I guess it's not really a big city, but it's a crazy city. I come from Baltimore, Maryland. Been here in Baltimore since I was about 5 years old. Pretty much grew up here. Yes, I lived in the hood and been out in the hood for a long time. Before I decided to once I got a lot older and became my own person, I actually moved out just to remove myself from that scenery because I had a chance to end up down the wrong path, so I kind of like removed myself, joined the military once I got older, and I was in the military for about 10 years. Army Guard and Army Reserve. So I served my country. Thank you, Lord. And
I didn't know that about you. Also.
Yes, sir. Served my country about a good 10 years. And back when the U.S. was dealing with that Desert Storm War, I was just about deployed, and the minute my guard unit got off of we were actually on standby, and we couldn't leave. I couldn't leave the state of Maryland. So that kind of like, shook me just a little bit. I said, you know what, I think I did my 10 years. I think I'm done. And I kind of ETS'd out. And then I got into, the world of work, regular world of working. I worked, probably about 10 years within the field of retail. And then I also did some years in logistics. And then after that, about 31 years old, a buddy of mine came to me and said, you know what, I think you ought to join the police department. I said, why should I do that? That sounds like a crazy idea. But I'm glad I kind of did, because I joined the police department at the age of 31, just going in to help a friend because he needed somebody to help him get through the academy. He went through there and he actually did not pass the academy the second time. I mean, the first time, and he wanted a friend to go with him. I said, I'll go ahead and give it a try. And lo and behold, it became a career for me. So I did that for about 20 years in the police department of Baltimore County, not Baltimore City. You know, where in the world I would have became a police officer in Baltimore City. Just wasn't my cup of tea. But so I just recently retired too. So I did 20 years and I retired on December the 31st, 2021. And January the 1st, 2022 is my first year or my first day being a retired police officer. So hats off to Baltimore County. I appreciate them for giving me an opportunity just to sow my rural oats and share with the people in Baltimore County. But family man, married, me and my wife here with her dog and her cat. I say her dog and her cat because I had no inkling that I was going to be taking care of some daggone animals. That wasn't my cup of tea, but to keep the wife happy, I decided to go ahead and agree and go ahead and become a part of that newfound family. And I got one son who is 24, I believe. I think he's 24. Trying to get him out the house, trying to get him on the right foot. That's always a task. But that's me in a nutshell. Let me back up. So, and as far as me trading, wasn't something that I had any idea that I would be doing. But so when I was a younger kid, I was always intrigued with the stock market, but I never knew nothing about it. Never knew how it worked. When I got older, yep. When I got older, I learned about a guy named Warren Buffett, and I was very impressed with Warren Buffett. Very impressed, and I'm like, man, I said, can he actually do that for a living and be successful? But I didn't think nothing of it until I got into my mid-20s. In my mid-20s, I ran into another kid who I saw online, and I actually wrote this down because I wanted to share this with the folks. But I ran into I don't know the kid's name, but I know I looked it up I saw him met him on I ran across him on YouTube. He was a 14-year-old trader. Back in 2012 or 2013, I run across his video on YouTube. You can actually go on YouTube and you can go 14-year-old trader who was successful. And this kid was able to amass a portfolio of $55,000 at the age of 14.
That's amazing.
That really impressed me. And I said, you know what? I said, if a 14-year-old kid can do this, I know daggone well I can do it. So that kind of got me involved and started, playing around. But I still ain't know what the heck I was doing. So what did I do way back in the day? My thought process is, man, if I just get, some penny stocks, they always go up. They go up eventually.
Oh, yeah.
So I joined I forgot what the online broker was. It was way back in the day. I can't even think of this online broker, but I got involved with this online broker that I know about and just bought some penny stocks. Don't ask me what I bought. I just jumped in and I just bought some. I said, eventually some of these are going to go up. Lo and behold, none of them ever went up like I thought they would. But me, being somebody who was new into trying to learn about this, I only spent about $200. And who knows? I don't have no idea where that $200 went to. I know I didn't make no money off of it, but then
You're
I think
obviously not a quitter.
Say it again.
I said you're obviously not a quitter, and you stuck through it. So
yes,
awesome.
yes. So after that, that was many moons ago. Then when I got to my mid-30s to lower 40s. So yeah, I'm kind of telling my age. You can see the gray in my mustache. I'm pretty sure you can see it.
Oh, I got plenty of that myself. Sarah Catalin on Twitter, she was making fun of me for it a little bit one day. So.
That's wisdom. It's nothing but wisdom.
Yeah, exactly. It's just yeah.
Yep. But so I got in my mid 40s, and then I really started getting more interested. So I started doing some online research, and I am what you call a visual learner. Yeah, I put it in a book. I'll read a book, but I'm not going to grasp it as much as I will if I can't actually see it and experience it for myself. So I did a lot of research online. Did a lot of YouTube videos, a lot of Googling, and I started to teach myself about the market. Started to teach myself, learn a lot. I ended up finding a guy online who had a small little course that was called Introductory, I think, to the stock market. And I took his little course, paid $100 for it, learned a lot about the basics, and that gave me the pathway to send me on a journey to be able to learn a lot more just with that seed that he planted. Awesome. So from there, I just started teaching myself, day in and day out. And as time went on, I had a lot of failures, but I learned a lot, and that brings me to where I am today. I started getting more and more interested into. I hate day trading. Somebody asked me about that. I'm not a day trader. You put me in a day trading room, I'm gonna lose all my money. That's just not something for me. So I don't like day trading. I'm more of a longer term mindset, but not an investor, but a longer term trader mindset. So I found out how to find my niche, and then I got hooked up with options. So when I learned options, that was like a gold mine to me. I said, I can't go wrong with this. After a couple years of failures, I started to have a lot of success, and that's pretty much it in a nutshell. That's a little bit about me.
Yeah, one thing I would say about the penny stocks is I thought the same thing as you. I thought that, I'm going to find a penny stock company that's really good that I can see on the shelf somewhere, something that even if it does pull down on me, I can just hold it for a really, really long time and I'm going to get money. I had no idea about a reverse split. I had no idea. I did not know what dilution was. I didn't know that they were going to issue 200 trillion shares,
Right.
I didn't know that my little investment was going to become so insignificantly small. Even in one case, they got closed. I didn't have enough shares to come through the reverse split, so I ended up closed out of that one. And I was just like, "What happened?" And then it went up. It went up.
Yep. That's totally the case.
But yeah, I just want to let everybody know We have a special guest with us that has watched him, I think every weekend for a while, and he said that he really enjoyed his weekend show, and he had a couple questions that he wants to ask him. And you guys know who I'm bringing on here. This is Michael Holcomb, the blind trader. What is up, Mike? Welcome.
How's it going, buddy? Thanks for having me on. How you doing, Tim?
I'm doing awesome, Mike, and yourself. Good to see you.
I'm doing good.
Good.
Yeah.
So before we get into that, I just want to ask you real quick. You said you're not a day trader. I was just reading a book today, and it was talking about swing trading and position trading, and it was saying that basically day trading is next to impossible. Most people, if they don't understand what they're getting themselves into, they're going to get ran over. And what I've learned in my time is that even if you do know what you're doing, even if you're great at trading that price action, there's times when liquidity dies down, when somebody behind the scenes has a lot more power and control than what they did a few minutes ago, a few hours, a few days, whatever it is. And even if you're right, you're not right. It's like right thesis, wrong time. So you would say that you're more of a position trader then? Is that what I'm getting?
More of a position trader, or should I say trend trader. I like to spot trends. If I can spot a trend, but just like you said, sometimes the trend goes against you. But more times than not, you know what I'm saying, if you find a trend, you can spot a longer term trend. If you can jump into one of those longer term trend or a trend that's starting to set up, you know what I'm saying, by paying attention to price action, you can find a way to have some success at it. That's pretty much what it is in a nutshell. I mean, I'm more of a longer term trend trader. I like to find trends. I don't like stagnant markets. I don't like playing sideways action. I got to be finding a trend. I got to find a trend.
That's where I'm struggling. I'm struggling with that trend. I day trade. That's what I learned to do from the beginning, and I'm wanting to add my swing trading to it, to more like you said, a swing trade to a longer term. But how do you do that in a market that just did what it did here recently? So you've got some swing long trades open, and boom, all of a sudden they're down $3, $4, $7 that day.
You got to switch partners.
Got to switch them up quick.
You got to. Okay. I mean, when you see the market, especially in an environment that we're in now, when you see the longer term trend trade, changing, you got to switch partners and find trends somewhere else. Okay. And that's what I started spotting. Within this current environment, I started spotting this when we had the COVID plunge. I saw some change about to happen.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Take the hit on what you're in there, and
the change is about to happen. Then, we saw that big sharp downtrend after we had the big COVID plunge, and then it snapped right back. That's just unusual. That was unusual to me. I said, okay, the snapback, I think, is a way for those last bulls to gain all the money they can gain before we have capitulation. And I think we heading to that time frame, which is going to be bad for the market in general.
And when you enter those trades, those longer term. Sorry, Andy, go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead, Mike. I'll ask in a second.
When you enter those trades long term, like that, are you entering them just a little here and a little there and building that position so you feel comfortable with that trend that you're getting into there?
Sort of, kind of, but not exactly. When I see a longer term trend setup, like right now, I think the overall market is in a bear market. We're in a longer term downtrend. So I try to look for, and mostly I trade a lot of ETFs that that mimics the market, or ETFs such as the SPY, the IWM, the QQQs. You know what I'm saying? They are easier to trade in a trending market. And what I do is I try to spot support resistance levels previous, because normally you can't dictate future success on previous on things that happened in the past. However, you can spot trend lines. You can spot trend lines from happened back in 2009, back in 2010, back in 2000. You can spot those levels, and more than likely, you're going to see some type of reaction if we turn back to those levels. So I use certain trend lines as a guide as to where I might want to pull the trigger and take some profits. So I don't get into in other words, I don't jump into a leap on a SPY and just let it sit for the whole year. What if the trend changes all of a sudden? You know what I'm saying? What I like to do is try to find short-term support and resistance levels.
Okay.
If I can, sorry, go ahead, Tim.
And then what I do is I go to set up my position. You know what I'm saying? If it's a put spread or if it's a a put option, regular put option or put vertical or whatever I'm trading, I'll set up my position to take a little bit of the pie at a time. And then I'll take some profits. And then if the trend looks like it's going to continue, then I take those profits and get back in. You know what I'm saying? And I may get another option that may expire in another 3-4 months.
Okay. I understand what you're saying there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So I just want to make sure I'm doing it right as well. I'm sorry, but I just want to make sure I'm kind of trading them correctly here. I don't want to be like, oh, I should have held that.
Yeah, I mean,
everybody, I want to learn how everybody else is doing it as well.
If you don't mind, Mike, if I can add this to that, like for example, when we were in that big bullish move in the SPY, I was looking on the weekly at the 20 EMA. The 20 EMA was a great place that we would barely pop a lower shadow, or else we'd find support over and over. It was beautiful.
Yes.
And then this is what I wanted to add to Mike's question, that I think that you're probably the same way. I hear Brian Shannon, Anne-Marie Van. Basically, when we're below a certain level, that is no longer something that they're looking for in a bullish, situation. They're not trying to go long any longer. So is that, to answer his, or to ask his question about trending, sort of, when we get below the 20 SMA or whatever it is, or when we get below a certain level, is that when you're changing everything? You're taking your foot off the pedal. You're no longer entering long positions. How do you go about establishing that trend for yourself?
Is that for me or is that for Mike?
Oh, that's for you, Tim.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, so once we break, I mean, once I see that a longer term level is broken, then I totally switch my mindset. But also there's a lot of other indicators that also a lot of tools that'll let you that give you some type of insight. I don't know if you guys ever heard of the wallstreetjournal.com. They got a tool on there that shows you the amount of new highs versus the amount of new lows that are being created. That's like a breadth indicator. So it pretty much tells you the overall breadth of the market. You can. There's also a if you use Thinkorswim, I'm not sure what platform a lot of folks use, but if you use Thinkorswim, you can also look at the I think it's called the SPXAR 200, whatever. What that does, it tracks the amount of stocks in the S&P 500 that are trading above their 200-day moving average. When I see that start to dive, then I know that the overall trend is about to change. When I see there's more new lows being created on a regular basis than new highs, I know that there's a trend changing. So that those two together helps give me confidence that when I look at a stock that's breaking a longer term trend, that has me confidence to say, okay, I think it's time to switch partners.
On those longer term trends, what hourly are you looking at? I know you're looking at probably several, but what's your most important? Daily.
Okay.
Yeah.
4-hour chart, daily chart, weekly, and to find and spot that long-term trend, the monthly for sure. Find a long-term trend change, the monthly for sure.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I think for the longer term, for a stronger trade, I was just talking to somebody a couple weeks ago about basically looking at the 4-hour and then like you said, going to the weekly, going to the monthly, getting a little bit of strength behind that move, and not just hopping in on some 5-minute trend, because there's a lot of times I'll get in on a 5-minute trend, and the 5-minute trend is not what I thought it was at all. It slaps me in the face real quick, and to not have that I guess, like the strat says, full time frame continuity behind you, you're not really as safe in your trade.
Let me add one thing to that, Andy. Give you a prime example. 2 of them. IWM broke a longer term trend well before everything else did. Well before, and I think that happened probably I want to say maybe at the beginning of the year. But there's another big player that everybody loves. Everybody loves is probably one of the biggest market cap companies in the world. Everybody is so in love with, and it's called Apple. Okay, if you've been paying attention to Apple this year, Apple has been tagging a longer term support level for quite a while this year. It would tag that support level and bounce back up to new highs. It would tag that support level and then it bounced again. I've been watching that longer term support level for the past year in Apple. And lo and behold, I said if it ever breaks down below this level, I think it's all bets are off for the entire market. And it actually did that on this past week. It dropped below the 150 level, where Apple was tagging for a long time, and it's been bouncing at that level for a long time. So once you break that level, now you got to see if Apple's going to find a way to break back up above that level. If it doesn't, then that means former support now becomes a resistance level. So now you got Apple below that level. In order for Apple to regain its momentum, it's going to have a sharp move back above that 150. I mean, like jump to 160, 170, and continue to go. If it stays stagnant between, because it looks like the market's going to rebound, what I'm saying, probably next week, just a little bit. If Apple stays stagnant between that 150, 155 level, then that means that new level of resistance is in place, and now former support is now resistance. Apple's going to have a very hard time trying to get back above that level. So that gives me confidence. Okay, I need to switch partners and trade this trend to the downside.
Well, if you don't mind, real quick, I want to throw out here, guys, that I don't think Tim or Mike or myself, none of us want you to follow us in any of our trades. Absolutely, you have to do your own due diligence here. Don't follow anybody because it can lead you off a cliff. I've said it like, if I'm riding a dirt bike towards a cliff and I can turn around right before I fall off that edge and you follow me, it's more likely that you're going to fall off that edge. And so just don't do it. But anyways.
And can I interject on that, Andy? And Andy is 100% correct. Trust me, I am no professional. Just like a lot of people follow me. I'm not a professional. I don't have a financial degree. I don't have none of that. I'm just a regular retail trader every day, just trying to find ways, to recover from some mistakes that I probably made in the past. We all make mistakes. We're always going to continue to make mistakes. Nobody's perfect. So, if you're following my trades and you fall off the cliff, don't blame me. You got to do your due diligence. I am still a retail trader like you all, trying to find a way to navigate through this market. Maybe I've been around a little bit long and had and experienced enough bumps and bruises that I know not to make some mistakes. But yes, don't just jump in blindly. You got to make sure that you do your due diligence and you learn a little bit more before you decide to jump into these trades.
And that's why I wanted to bring you on here, Tim, because I'm looking for real traders, real people. I'm not looking for anybody who's trying to lure in traders. In fact,
I hate the gurus. I hate them.
Right, exactly. When I was younger, I looked at money as something that when I reach a certain amount, I can spend that certain amount. And then I looked at credit as when I reached a certain amount, I could spend that certain amount. I mean, I was a fool with credit. I used my first Sears card as a shopping spree, and I paid the price for that. So, on the flip side of that, trying to grow something, I tell my kids all the time that you gotta plant some seeds. If you plant an apple tree out here, you're not gonna have to go to the store and buy apples. In fact, your apples are probably gonna taste sweeter because they're your own. And that's what I think all of us are trying to do. We're just trying to plant little seeds that can start maybe paying one little bill here, another little bill there.
Yes. So, nothing happens overnight. I told people, if you expect to jump into this trading world and think you're going to become or if somebody promised you, hey, come and buy my, $5,000 million course and you're going to be rich tomorrow, you better run the other way real quick, real fast.
I was told I was going to get a Lamborghini when I started trading. Yeah.
I think I'm several traders. Yeah. Somebody got. I guarantee you. I done fell into many traps. Before I really started, doing my own research, just by buying stuff that I had no business buying.
It's the only way we can learn, though. We learn from our own mistakes.
Yes. Yes, indeed.
That's what I found out about the market, though. So it's endless tricks and traps. Wouldn't you guys say? I mean, for the ignorant, even for traders that believe their experience, you're going to find that there's another trick. There's another trap behind every corner, and they're always creating more
manipulation. There's manipulation too. I believe in that.
Yeah, definitely. Getting into that, I think that I know Mike agrees with me here. When we put our orders in, when we touch these things, I can see them reacting to my order. The more the lower liquidity is, the higher the reaction is to my orders. I don't know if you guys are experiencing the same thing.
At times, yeah. It's sometimes it's noticeable, and then sometimes it's not until you just get sucked in. Next thing you know, what the heck happened to my contract? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it happens. It happens. And that's one of the reasons why, you know, I don't like trading in certain environments. I mean, if I see a market or a particular position or a stock, whatever it is I'm trading, if I see a lot of sideways actions, I try to steer clear. You got some folks, you know, who are pretty good with trading things like iron condors and all these different setups and stuff. But I like to steer clear because it's just not my cup of tea. Because you never know, you know what I'm saying? You know, you got the market makers out. Is what I call them. They're in this to make money. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to see you know, too many retail traders having success. Their job is to come in and try to steal our thunder, steal our money. You know what I'm saying? So there are a lot of I mean, these machines at work, they find ways to get you sucked in. You know what I'm saying? If you don't do your due diligence and don't pay attention to what, don't have a strategy, don't have a set strategy.
And I know it's basically with this show, one of the things we've been doing is we've been asking about the sweet spot. And I know Mike has 2 questions regarding the sweet spot. I believe what Mike. Go ahead. You got your.
We want to know what your EMAs or what your indicators are. That's what I'd like to know.
Yes.
What indicators do you use? Yeah.
The main
how you use them as a sweet spot. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah. So RSI is extremely important to me. Relative strength indicator. That seems like to be one of the most popular, you know, on the market. And that seems to me to be like one of the most reliable. That's just what I found to be over the course of years. So RSI definitely. And then your moving averages, and everybody use different moving averages for whatever reason. You know what I'm saying? You know, some people got magic theories behind them. You know what I'm saying? I look at them as also ways to detect trend. And a lot of times you can use the moving averages as ways to find support and resistance, because it acts just like that as well. You know what I'm saying? The 3 that I like to use because I've been floating around playing with a lot of different moving averages over the years. So the 3 that I found that I like the most, and I found like sweet spots for me: the 20-day moving average, the 50-day moving average, and the 250-day moving average.
Yeah.
Those have found I found to work well for me. When I say work well, I mean the 20-day. Once you enter a position, especially long day positions, when you enter a position that's trending, that 20-day, if you're trading on the downside, you'll notice that it will and if it's a trending stock or a trending ETF, you'll notice that every time price action does rally and go back up, most of the time, if the stock is in a straight downtrend, it'll hit that 20-day and come right back down.
Yeah.
And the same thing on the way up. You know what I'm saying? Most of the time you have stocks, you know what I'm saying, that's in a nice, smooth, longer term uptrend. And when it goes up above that trend line, I mean, when it goes up above that moving average so far, it'll come right back down, hit that 20, and bounce right back up and keep on going. That's how the market flows, like a heart.
So you're using your moving averages as potential support and resistance.
Yes.
Are you looking for breakouts with them, or just establish, like you said, more establishing the trend?
I use them for I don't necessarily look for breakouts in them, because a lot of times, you know, they are lagging indicators if you're trying to find a breakout. Sometimes you might have a breakout well before, you know what I'm saying, price action gets back above that moving average. You know what I'm saying? There's other ways to try to figure that out. Again, breadth of the market and things of that nature. But I use them to you know, to establish that trend and to you know, see if that trend is something that look like it's going to stand for the longer term. You know what I'm saying? I use it as more of a support and resistance level than anything else.
And Mike, you both use the ATR, right? What do you guys use the ATR for, if you don't mind?
Just to give me a range, a daily range.
So like you're looking for targets, or are you using that for your stop loss, or?
No, it's more of, kind of gives me the idea of how much to expect.
Tim, you use the ATR as well?
Nope, I don't use ATR that much. I don't recall using it that much at all. One that I like to use in addition to my RSI and my moving averages is, if you got Thinkorswim, and I'm not sure if it's on any other platforms, is a TTM squeeze. TTM squeeze helps also gives you a sense of the momentum of that particular trade. You know what I'm saying? Especially on the longer term charts, that TTM squeeze works like a charm. If you look at a TTM squeeze on a weekly or monthly, and you know, and it's in a nice uptrending pattern, you'll see the building blocks on that TTM squeeze slowly but surely continue to build higher and higher and higher. It works like a charm on the longer term charts, and vice versa. when you see the momentum in that particular position starting to lose its flavor, you'll see those dark blue bars on a TTM squeeze start to get shorter and shorter and shorter and shorter. And when you see that on a weekly or monthly chart, that's like a strong signal that this momentum is dying out.
Okay.
So now that we're in the situation where it got weaker, it's pulling back. Do you look for any like inside candle reversal type moves, or do you counter trend trade at all?
I don't counter trend trade. I stick with the trend. So unless the longer term trend changes. The one thing I will look for you know, where possible counter trend can happen. But I think and give you a prime example, in this current market that we're in now, there's a lot of counter trends happening within this bear market, but they're short lived. They're short lived. They do exactly what I'm telling you. You know, majority of the time they come right back up to one of those movement averages and then they reverse. So another thing that I like to use to try to help me to determine if I'm about to have a real snapback counter trend and going to lose all my money is I like to use I can't get out of my head now. It's on the tip of my tongue. That's a senior moment. Andy, you might have to help me with this one, but this one, and I was just looking at it. I said, man, dang it, you know what? I'm gonna have to get back to that.
I love this one.
Gotcha. I got
it happens to me all the time.
No, I do it all the time. Yeah.
Fibonacci retracement. Okay, I got it there.
Yeah.
The Fibonacci retracement tool. So the Fibonacci retracement tool is a tool that can help you, you know, especially when you have a trend in stock and you know that it's in a new longer term downtrend. The Fibonacci tool can retrace some previous down levels up to the newest high level, and that can give you some inflection points as to where this price action may decide to do a counter trend rally. The 50% retracement is like a popular retracement area. You know what I'm saying? If you see price action coming back down to that 50% retracement level, more than likely you're going to get a response out of that level. How long it lasts is the question. Sometimes it only lasts in between the Fibonacci levels. You know, it may only last between the 50 and the 38.2, then come right back down. So I use that also to try to spot those counter trend rallies.
To stick with the indicators before we move on to
I'm sorry.
No, I'm just with your RSI. Do you ever look for, like, when we get to 65, we get to 70, whatever we are on the RSI? Do you use any Bollinger Band breakouts or anything along with that to look for a potential rejection or potential breakout?
I don't. When something gets to especially when I can't harp on this enough. When you look at the long term charts, if I see RSI well above 70. And especially on the long-term monthly and weekly chart, and if it's been well above 70 for a long time, it's starting to hit some extreme levels, 70, 80. In my mind, I'm like, this can't, you know, it can't keep this up. And 9 times out of 10, it doesn't. You know what I'm saying? So when I see some extreme levels, I'm always paying attention. Also on the downside, when you get some extreme levels, and now the RSI, this works for any time frame. You know what I'm saying? It works for any time frame. If you get a super oversold RSI reading on the 1 hour chart, you know what I'm saying? For those folks who are doing this day trading stuff, you get that real super oversold level, it is going to bounce. You know what I'm saying? If you get an RSI level, you know, that's starting to see 17, 16, I can almost guarantee you're going to get some type of bounce in the near future. That's just you know how RSI works. So I try to look for those oversold levels and those overbought levels. And then a lot of times when you get to those oversold levels, overbought levels, especially on oversold levels, you can start to see certain candle patterns or whatever. You might see a big doji, you know what I'm saying, when we get deeply oversold. And all of a sudden this big doji price action can't decide whether or not they want to go up or whether or not come down. And then all of a sudden it finishes, you know what I'm saying, with this perfect doji. That's almost another sign too, especially if you're oversold, that there's some type of you know, trend change that's about to happen. And whether it be short term or whether it be longer term, that's a good possible chance. And even on the upside, the same way.
I appreciate you answering some questions for us here. And I know I'm going to have to watch this video over and over again here and write all this down.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff.
Heck yeah.
Yep. You got any other questions?
I did. I had another one before I came on here.
Well,
I've been,
you know
yeah.
what? Well, why are you thinking about that? So, just for everybody who haven't been paying attention to the market, and I don't think we said it enough. Or if I haven't said it enough, that we are in a bear market. I don't care what nobody else says. We are in a new bear market, and one of the things that probably really is something to look out for when you're in this type of market is these bear market rallies, because they have a tendency to try to trap people. And I think that's a lot of institutional stuff that's at works when we get those big bear market rallies, and they trap people. You know what I'm saying? So when we in this bear market rally, we had these big rallies. I don't want people to get so sucked into this price action because they see these big 1,000-point moves in a Dow in a day or within a couple of days, and then they jump back in. Oh, the market's going back up, and then we hit the ceiling again, and then the bottom falls out until we start to see some changes within what's happening within our economy in general. That's another sign. You know what I'm saying? We got a war going on. We still got inflationary pressures on the market. I mean, this inflation is out of control. You know what I'm saying? We still got supply chain issues. So there's a lot of things that's happening beneath the surface that's going to kind of like help fuel this bear market. So it's like throwing coal in a fire. Throwing wood in a fire that's going out. You know what I'm saying? Until we can put that fire out completely, we're going to continue to have these gyrations in this market for a while.
And right before this, we had a lot of CEOs selling out a lot of their stocks and even stepping down from their positions and stuff. So that keeps nagging in my,
Yes.
Every time I think about oh, this is maybe this is a great place just to get in here. I just keep thinking about that these guys sold out a lot of shares.
Yep. So there's a lot of funky business going on.
And Mike, I'm not trying to laugh at you guys, but the fact that you guys forgot what you were saying there, I feel much better about myself because I've done that in live events for Benzinga and stuff at least 3 times now, I think.
Oh,
So
wow.
I figured it out. I figured it out. I want to know what you look at in the financials.
It's fun. It's funny you say that. Now, I'm glad you
I know
said
it's
it
hard to do
because
that though without showing up your screen. So.
no. I'm gonna tell you. You know what I look at in the financials because the type of person I'm not an investor. I'm a trader. I don't look at financials.
You don't look at them.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Nope.
Yeah.
I don't.
I don't in 99% of my trades. I don't. I do have a portfolio though that I do look at the financials in. Like I said, it's new. I don't.
Yeah, if you for somebody who has who's a longer term investor, that may be very important to them.
Okay.
I have a what's called something like a 401k when I was in the police department. It's called a deferred comp. I put my money in it. I let the pros deal with it. That's my I let them worry about the financials. When I'm trading on my own, technical analysis is all I'm concerned with. Technical analysis and about what's happening within our economy.
So maybe where ETFs, if you wanted to do it, might be something I ought to just think about staying in if I want to go long term, not mess with stocks. Find good ETFs.
Yep, you can go to ETF. A lot of good ETFs. If the market was in an uptrend, I mean, the SPY is great. The IWM is great. The triple Qs is great if we're in an up market. Those are like my 3 go-tos.
I've already thought about those. I'm getting me some SPY. Yeah, I'm just waiting. I'm not there yet.
Yep, no, it ain't time yet. Just give it a little more time. And then as far as some of the commodities, USO is a great one. If you want to try to track this WTI crude, USO is a great way to play WTI crude to the upside.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yep.
So now, as far as financials, you don't look at financials, but do you you're not trading penny stocks no more either? I'm sure.
Heck no. Back then I was trying to run. Yes. Back then when I started trading them pennies, I said, maybe I need to know something because I jumped in those pennies thinking I knew something about this company's financials. And then I got so frustrated with that, trying to understand. I said, you know what? I'm not doing this no more because, I'm saying what I see on this balance sheet or whatever, it just don't make sense to me. And every time I think that a company, sounds good on paper, it doesn't go my way. So that drew me away from financials. I said, I'm going to become a technical trader.
For me, anything that's got a negative balance sheet, I hate messing with those. And that's where when I look at penny stocks, I just don't look at financials at all because I already know it's all negative. Sorry, Andy. Go ahead.
Yeah, no problem. Basically, for me, it's like I'm looking for where money and if there's money in the news. You know, do we have a 13D or something? But I'm not looking at it as some sort of investor. I'm looking at it as, hey, this is going to bring my eyes to the chart. The chart's going to tell me the rest from there. And for me, if I'm trading penny stocks, it's first rule penny stocks. I'm up, they see me, I'm down. So I gotta. It's like hot potato. I gotta be in. I gotta be out. I gotta get out of the way before this thing goes all the way back down.
Yeah. Yeah.
So basically, you're trading strength. You're a responsible trader, Tim. That's what I'm getting out of this. You're
Yes.
you're doing it the right way.
I like
Yes,
the way
I
Tim
mean,
does it. Yeah.
I mean, you gotta have some type of discipline. You know what I'm saying, when you're trading, because if you don't have any discipline, you know what I'm saying, you're gonna constantly you end up losing money. You gotta have a discipline. You gotta have discipline. You gotta have a strategy. You know, if your strategy and discipline is to pad your technicals up with financials, then you stick to it. If your strategy is to trade a trend, you know what I'm saying, and only trade trends, then you stick to it. If your strategy, you know what I'm saying, is to buy, is to use certain strategies, you know what I'm saying, to play a stagnant market, then you stick to it. Stick to what works for you, and once you find that niche, because everybody has their own niche that works for them.
I'm assuming I know the answer to this, but do you have any books, or do you have any particular authors that you would suggest people to check into about trend following?
No books per se, but there's some followers that I do follow on YouTube. One of the biggest ones I follow is a guy named AJ Monty from Market Rebellion. You talking about somebody who I think is now I don't say too many people gurus, but I think this guy is like the Oracle, and that's his actual name too. He's called the Option Oracle. I think that's what they call him, something like that. But this guy is an oracle of understanding and finding reversals and trends in the market. You know what I'm saying? So I follow his YouTube channel. I watch every Friday he does pretty much something like I do. I do a weekend market review. He does a weekly review every Friday. That's free on YouTube, where he shows what he's expecting to happen over the next week or the next couple months or so. And I started following this guy, and I really started liking, you know what I'm saying, his observation of the market, and the little articles that he attaches sometime along with his analysis. And it speaks volumes, because a lot of the stuff that he shares, and how he breaks it down, it's like elementary. Anybody can understand it, and it works. It works. So I kind of like drawn to him. So that's one of the guys, and I can't think of too many others off the top of my head, with the exception of again, I told you before, Andy, Warren Buffett. You know what I'm saying? That's a man with a lot of wisdom, as old as he is. You know what I'm saying? That's one person who I pay attention to. Warren Buffett speaks, I pay attention.
Yeah.
You'd mentioned that you trade options. So for me, what I found with options is, I have to establish my risk from the get-go. And I'm talking about just buying, calls, buying puts. But basically, I want to find the best place in the chart that I can for the underlying, and look for that setup. And then I want to make sure that I limit my risk by only getting that amount in my options. Whatever the total amount is, that's the risk that I'm playing with. I want to put in my head that I could lose the entire amount, because it's happened to me really quick. I've had situations where I thought I was right, and everything was great. Then some news came out on Benzinga Squawk or something, and the thing just starts crashing.
Yes.
So fast. My options
Happened to me too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Go
ahead.
I'm just going to ask you how you manage that risk. Like, position sizing is probably a big thing, I'm assuming.
Okay, hold on one second. I think risk management is extremely important. One of the things that I do is I don't try to bite off the entire apple. So I'm not out here like saying risking 20, 30 contracts on one big trade. You know what I'm saying? I don't like doing it. I like to try to spread my risk out. So my portfolio is rather big for what I do. You know what I'm saying? And I like to try to put my eggs in multiple baskets. So if I think this overall trend is to the downside or to the upside, I try to put my eggs in multiple baskets. And I try to limit the amount of contracts I buy on a particular trade. I can't really tell you a rhyme or reason as to why I decide to buy 3 contracts of on Apple spread. But but I look at how much money I'm willing to lose for that particular trade if it doesn't go my way. You know what I'm saying? And I try to stick to that particular mindset. So if I'm only willing to risk a certain amount, then I see how many contracts I need to buy or purchase or whatever I'm trading in order for me to keep that risk at that level. And that's something that everybody has to discover on their own. What are you willing to risk? But you got to go in with some type of risk management, because if you just go in blindly and think you're gonna say, hey, I'm thinking this, I think I'm making rich off of this. I'm betting the kitchen, the kitchen sink, the bathtub, everything else on this thing, and this is it. You might run into an issue. You know what I'm saying? Because if it don't go your way, all trades don't always go our way. All trades don't go your way. It's just like Andy just said. You know what I'm saying? You mess around and think, oh my goodness, Apple's going to the moon next week, and then Apple goes, it doesn't go to the moon, it goes south instead, and then you're screwed.
Or with options, it goes south just long enough to work you out of profit. Then it gets back into where you'd assume you have lots of profit. You have nothing. You're right at your number.
Options can be a tricky thing. I'm telling you, time decay is a monster. It will tear you alive. You know what I'm saying? If you don't come up with a strategy and a game plan.
Speaking of time decay, I found that there's a balance with the expiration that we're looking at. Depending on what we're doing. If we're just trying to scalp, get in and out, maybe a little bit different, or if we're looking for a longer term position. But it seems like if we get too far out, we've now kind of taken away the potential for our. It just seems to sort of not move. Basically, where are you at with time frame?
Right. When you where I am as far as trying to manage that time decay, I do have some longer term positions. You know what I'm saying? In other words, they may not expire for 8 months down the road. When I put on a position like that, I'm looking at a longer term trend that I think is well established, and I think this trend is not turning around for a year or so. I feel more comfortable with that particular trade. For these quick washouts, like we've been having here recently, I may stick to like a 2 to 3 month expiration on a particular position. And also, one thing I also look for is I try to spot a lot of unusual option activity. If I see, somebody, if I see a purchase or sale of 30,000 contracts of a 120 strike of a particular stock, and open interest is only 5, something's going on. Something's going on that I don't know about. You know what I'm saying? Then if the chart setup looks good, then hey, if that expires in about a week or so, then I probably feel comfortable jumping into something like that. And something like that, if it goes in your favor, just like you said, you're probably gonna have the biggest bang for your buck. You know what I'm saying? Especially if it's something that's out of the money. You could have had the biggest bang for your buck if it goes your way, and those will make you money fast. But you got to worry about that time decay. If it's something, if I'm latching on to something I think is a longer term trend, to put time decay on my side, I want to allow myself a little bit more time, maybe not too much time, but I want to allow myself a little bit more time. On average, I'll probably get a contract that expires, if I think it's a long term trend, maybe on average 3 to 4 months down the road. And I've always, you're not going. It doesn't gain you money super fast unless it really drops or rises in a quick fashion. But it gives you that steady income. It gives you that steady gain over a period of time, and that's what I don't look for. I don't look for those quick, firecracker moments where boom, I'm rich all of a sudden. I look for those steady gains that I can get over time.
You're just letting your money work for you.
Yes, steady gain over a certain amount of time. I ain't got to get rich overnight. The steady gain over time, because when I get those 3 to 4 month contracts, I don't have to worry about I can go do my daily routine and not be worried what I'm saying, from day to day, if time decay is going to kill me, because I got time decay on my side at that point. You know what I'm saying? If the trend is still in my favor, the time decay with those 3 to 4 month options is also going to be in my favor. So I don't have to pull up the screen every day and say, oh my goodness, I'm going to lose money. Oh my goodness, as long as the trend still the trend still stays in my favor, I go on and work every day. Don't worry about what's happening, and then look at my portfolio 4 weeks down the road. Hey, I got a nice increase.
Yeah. See, the cool thing with your options is you've actually you've established your risk. That's it. You're not adding into that position just because it turns against you. I'm assuming you're not averaging down or anything. I found if you do that in options, it is a fool's game.
No, if it starts, and plus I have You saying something, Mike?
Oh, I just said I could only imagine.
And yeah, and plus I have a set mindset. I mean, if for some reason, I look at this option and it doesn't expire in a couple of months, and I know the trend is going in my favor. I look at it in about 2 weeks, and I'm almost close to losing half of my position. Normally, I cut my risk and go on to the next trade. That's normally how I look at it.
Yeah.
But if I look at it a couple weeks from now, and I think that it's going in my favor in a big way, I may add to that position, or I may take profits, close that position out. You know what I'm saying? Roll down or roll up, depending on what I got, and continue that trend lower or continue that trend higher. You know what I'm saying? I do take profits along the way. Even if the contract expires in 4 months, I look at it in 3 weeks, and I'm already up 100%. Heck,
I've
take
been
that.
learning to do that. Take
Yeah,
profit.
take that profit, and you continue that trend lower by buying some lower strikes or some. However you got to set up. Just buy some new strikes, with the profits that you made, and continue to follow the trend.
See, I don't like to be out of the money. I want to be at the money or in the money with my options. So, like you said, if I buy it, I don't know, like let's say $13 calls, and now all of a sudden we're sitting, down, I don't know, let's say 11.90 or something, which I shouldn't really be. I should have probably stopped out of that. But I would rather just let that go and buy into something that's in the money or at the money if I still believe that my thesis is correct, rather than adding good money to this junk out of the money position, because in that case it's never worked out for me. I mean, I've profited from it, but overall for my career it's not going to work out for me.
One thing that I do now, I do a lot of out of money trading, and this is my logic behind it. If the prime example, I've been watching IWM like a hawk over the past year, and it's been doing nothing but bleeding. If I see something that's just bleeding consistently, and I see a longer term trend line that I believe in my mind it's going to get to, I will risk, buying a cheap out of the money option to capture those gains, because those gains sometimes can be phenomenal if it continues to drop and it drops past your strike. What a lot of folks think is that if I get this out of the money option and it expires in 4 or 5 months down the road, and price action starts to drop, I have to wait until it drops below my strike to make money. No, actually you don't. As long as that the price action is going in your direction, you can start. It'll start giving you start seeing the profit sometime a lot earlier. And you don't have to necessarily get to that strike. Now, if you hold it all the way out there, to that time frame, then all of a sudden ricochet and go back up, you can lose that profit real fast. But if you think the longer term trend is in your favor, I've purchased longer term out of the money positions. Not deep out of the money, but maybe some that's slightly out of the money. And it's been profitable. Prime example too. And a lot of times I look at some of those deep out of the money positions as I call them lottery tickets. And every so often I buy lottery tickets. And I'm gonna give you prime. I just recently bought a lottery ticket on the Dow. My theory of lottery tickets is like no harm, no foul. If I win, I do. If I don't, it's only, it's cheap, dirt cheap.
Right.
If it doesn't go in my favor, I'm only losing pennies. You know what I'm saying? My logic behind some of these moves is that if you are in a longer term a trend reversal that just happening, and you get one of these out of the money lottery picks that expires a year from now, if it goes in your favor, those things can be extremely profitable if it hits your strike by the if it goes below your strike within a year. That's one of the pluses of that. But the percentage of you being successful, is not always great. But the trend, but if that particular position is trending in your fashion, it can switch the odds and put the odds in your favor later on down the road.
Yeah, every time I've done these things so far, there's been a golden nugget, and I can tell you that is definitely a golden nugget. You guys write that down. I think that's great stuff, Tim. I'd really like to know, where can people go find you from here if they want to learn more?
Man, it's funny you say that, because I think what's the young lady said? Somebody reached out to me and told me to send my links over, and because me being as old as I am, dude, if I was had to tell you, like, look, go here. This is my Twitter page, Tim Day, whatever. I probably wouldn't be able to tell you. All I know is how to get there. Now, one thing I could do, I don't know if Annie, if you can pull my if you can pull my Twitter account up, because I don't know my actually, this is probably a senior moment too. I don't know if you can share it or not, but I am on Twitter. I'm also on Facebook, and I'm also on YouTube.
So Andy, if you can't, I think I might be able to here.
There it is right there. We got it.
You got it. Okay.
Yeah, it's at God's Child Tim on Twitter, and I'm sure from Twitter they can find any place else to find you.
Yes. If you come on Twitter, you can find me anywhere else. And plus, if you come on Twitter, find me on Twitter, because I do a lot of sharing with people behind the scenes. So if you come on Twitter and you inbox me anything you want, or you got a question about anything, find me on Twitter, inbox me, and then I will show you. I can give you the links to everywhere you can find me. Again, you can find me I'm on Facebook, I'm on YouTube, and I'm also on a new Discord channel. I have my own Discord that I don't share too much, but I'm also on a new Discord channel with I don't know if you guys know Dan Adams and a couple other folks that I can't name just yet for reasons. But yes, I'm on a new Discord space. And if you reach out to me on Twitter, I will share that link to you as well.
I will reach out to you for sure.
I know me and Mike both love Dan. Dan's awesome. So that's where people can find you. Really looking forward to whatever's coming next. And Mike, do you have any more questions for Tim? Put down the spot, buddy.
I don't know. I think I'm good. And Tim just loaded me up here. I'm ready to go over this and write some things down, and I'm ready to change up some stuff over here.
Man, that's how we learn from each other, man. That's what
really
it's about.
I
tell people I don't know everything. I'm not a stock guru. I will never claim to be. You're not gonna see me on social media somewhere riding in a Lamborghini saying I'm the richest guy in the world, because I'm not. I'm trying to get to a certain point. I ain't there yet. You know what I'm saying? But we continue to as retail investors, down to earth, real retail investors, and that's who both of these guys are. We are real retail investors, you know what I'm saying, who struggle, you know what I'm saying, but we also find ways to make it work. And it's all about a steady climb to the top, not a rocket ship climb to the top. You know what I'm saying? Can you be successful and develop a nice portfolio by becoming a trader and using some techniques and tools that you develop? Yes, you can. I found it out myself. You know what I'm saying? It took a while, but I found it out myself that I can, amass a nice size portfolio, you know what I'm saying, over time. And it ain't got to be overnight.
About the market is I feel like anybody can do it. The market, you can do it any way you want. You can pick your style.
Yes.
Anybody can do it. You pick your own style. It's not one has to.
Yes.
You have to do it this way.
Yep. But we learn pointers from everybody, and trust me, I picked up stuff from everybody along the way. You know what I'm saying, and added those pieces of that puzzle, to my bigger puzzle, and it works. You know what I'm saying? I picked up stuff from everybody. I guarantee you, I probably picked up some stuff from Andy, and he probably don't even know it. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's how we work. That's how it works.
Yeah, I know. I've picked some stuff up from both of you over the years already. Yeah.
Yep. That's what it's about, man. I'm telling you, that's what it's about. Each one reach one.
Well, Tim, what I just love that you put it out there that you let people know. If you guys have any questions, reach out to me. If you want to talk, even if you just want to talk, and it's not about this right here.
Yes. Life,
exactly.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know if people came late. Yes, life. I've been in the military for 10 years. I closed that chapter about 25 years ago, and I just retired from the police department. I was in the police department as law enforcement officer for 20 years, and I just closed that chapter. Now, I went back to the police department. I think I told Mike this earlier. I went back to the police department as a part-time background investigator. So I'm working part-time, here and there. Now I make my own hours, but it still gives me more time, you know what I'm saying, to to actually hone my craft as far as trading goes. Yeah. But it also gives me an opportunity to still get out the house too, because right. I'm only 52. I can't get stuck in the house forever, because these old bones are dropping there, and they'll pass out on me before my body's ready to go. So,
well, real quick, if I could throw this in here before we get out of here, I know for me, me and Mike, we've struggled with pain and stuff in our lives, and different sort of problems that have been a huge obstacle. And I just want there to be a place for people to go, something for them to do, something they can learn and grow in. And like you said earlier, we're not trying to get people to want to get that Lambo or, like these big, they're winning the lotto and they're going to be millionaires next week or anything or whatever they're trying to do. It's just about establishing consistency. The goal for me is consistency. I'm sure you guys are the same way, just little bits, and until those little bits might add up into something that you're like, wow, I can't believe that I got here. I'm actually doing something that can pay some bills now. My life has been significantly changed from trading. And I probably say the biggest part is not really necessarily financial, although I have had financial things that I needed really bad, like a car that I needed. I then got the car. But looking in the mirror, it's changed me. I'm more calm in situations that I might have got riled up before. Just helping me be a better person. I don't really want to argue or fight with people as much. It's crazy the changes that have happened with me, and I'm assuming that you guys are the same way. But trading has been great. Thank you so much, Tim, for joining us today. We really appreciate you. I want to do anything we can to help you guys succeed in anything that you do. So if there's anything we can do, if you want to come back and join us anytime, let us know. This has been great. And Mike, super awesome that you joined us today. I'm super pumped that you joined us.
Good.
And Tim, I look forward to next time. Mike, next time. I'll see you guys later.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, man. Thanks for having me.
Yep. Thanks, guys.
Yep. No problem.
Yeah.
Ordered filled. Check us out.
You know what time it is.
This is the Mighty Soldiers exclusive.
Yeah. Let's get it. Let's get it. If you wanna take it to the streets, let's get it. If you wanna take it to the booth, let's get it. I'm about to take it to the top, let's get it. We ain't never ever gonna stop, let's get it. You ain't never heard nobody spit like this. Call the paramedics when I get like this. Front page news when I wreck like this. Hop in the booth and I wreck that shit like,
If you with the squad, then you already know what's up. It be going down, but my account is going up. I'm about to make another 100,000 bucks. Rolling up that chain, I'm about to take another puff.
Hold up, I made a killing, now my pockets got swollen. Independent, now I'm taking over. I'm a lot richer, you a lot broker. I'm a pot smoker, stockbroker, blowing up like a supernova. On my mama, I was born a soldier, the best in the game, man. I thought I told you. If you wanna take it to the streets, let's get it. If you wanna take it to the booth, let's get it. I'm about to take it to the top, let's get it. We ain't never ever gonna stop, let's get it. You ain't never heard nobody spit like this. Call the paramedics when I get like this. Front page news when I wreck like this. Hop in the booth and I wreck that shit like, I am unstoppable, I can do anything I ever wanted to. Never did anything they ever wanted me to. Got on my side and I'm not gonna lose and they're not gonna win. I see them, the haters, it's all cause I'm getting dollars again. Commas on commas, I'm buying the dip. The market is dropping again. I can see him hating from the sideline. If you see a hater, tell him bye-bye. Watch my money grow, 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 grow. And my wifey like, whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, somebody better stop me because there ain't no competition and I'm coming for the top position. Obliterating the opposition every time that I jot it in the composition. Everybody wanna stop and listen cause I bring it to you hotter than the oven in your mama kitchen. I be getting here like a politician. I'ma get bread when you stack looking taller than Scottie Pippen. Ain't nobody ready for the Armageddon when I pop the clip and I ain't playing. I'm spraying you brain, I'm bringing the pain like Damon Wayne. You disappear like David Blaine. I'm dropping bombs, Saddam Hussein. Stop and aim, pop you lames and pop champagne. I ain't playing so stop the games, you know the name. If you wanna take it to the streets, let's get it. If you wanna take it to the booth, let's get it. I'm about to take it to the top, let's get it. We ain't never ever gonna stop, let's get it. You ain't never heard nobody spit like this. Call the paramedics when I get like this. Front page news when I wreck like this. Hop in the booth and I wreck that shit like, yeah. Yeah, yeah. All right, man, I'm out.